This is a 1949 Chevy pickup, 3100 series. Going to be changing out what used to be the wing window configuration. Going to be installing a solid window. So here's a solid window that had been purchased for the truck when I bought it. So I got a box with 2 windows in it. So I took the old regulator out, and as you can see, it's a single arm. That's for the wing window, actually for the square window in combination with the wing. So in order to put this full-size window in it, it needs the larger regulator. So I got these off of eBay. So have to reconfigure some things and fabricate inside the door to get this to fit, but here we go. So picture a wing right here, and then the main window is just a square. So when I got it, these are already removed, but the truck is configured. You can kind of see this bracing right here. It's configured for a wing, so I'm gonna have to cut all that out. Okay, so the framing's all cut away, making room for the new window. Next thing I gotta do is get the old regulator out of there. This new regulator has 4 bolts, as you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. These two are a little bit further apart than these. These two line up perfectly with these existing holes here from the old regulator. So what I did was made a paper template. Got the exact holes to get where these other holes are exactly, so alright. So getting these lined up is a little tricky. That's one right there. That's the other one right there. And that should be pretty much the center of the hole right there. So there's the other 2 holes. Alright, I'm going to make them just a little oversized. Give me just a little bit of play. I'm going to put everything together with lock nuts. Keep things from sliding around. Okay, so this other arm, 3 arms myself, this spins 360, but it's going to be sitting like that inside the door. All right, so I made my template. You can see I kind of made, this is the bottom, this is top here. And the other thing is, this does not line up exactly where this old one was. So it's going to be about this vicinity here. Just making sure that it's going to be level. You can kind of use this ridge as a guide. So I'm about a 1/2 inch, maybe 5/8, right in line with this other bolt hole, just directly underneath it. Use a pencil, I can get in there better. Okay, so you can see a little bit better. So first hole is going to be there, the other one's going to be here and here. And I'm actually going to do slots. Like I said earlier, you want to make this adjustable. So just a little beyond each way. This will allow you to move your regulator up and down if your window needs to be adjusted up and down. Alright, so hopefully you can see that pretty good. So just a couple things. I'm going to be pre-drilling the holes. I'm going to be stepping it up as I go along. I'm not going to just drill the 1/4 inch hole to start with anyway. I'm going to be stepping it up. The other thing is, these are 1/4 bolts. I got some short ones here. And just when I get it all put together, what I'll do is I'm going to back each bolt out one at a time. Put some thread lock on everything so they won't vibrate loose over time. a little too tight. This hole's not quite lined up, so what I'm going to do is take everything out and make the holes just a little bit bigger. Looking down inside the door, you can kind of see how it's sitting. So as I go to crank it, see those arms are coming up. You also see that third arm down there. That one there. That needs a rail, a channel to glide in. Alright, so what it needs is on the inside of the door, this channel here is going to be mounted. I'll figure out exactly where the center is. That third arm is going to be wanting to glide along in this area here. I'll figure out the center, and then I'll take this piece of channel and mount inside the door so it has a little channel to ride in. So that's next. Okay, both these arms are all the way up. So with that, this third arm is about right here. I'm going to crank it all the way. That's all three arms are even right there, and that third arm is right about here. I'm going to crank it all the way down, keeping that arm in that area there. So that's all the way down, and the arm is now about right here. Okay, so knowing that, I'm going to mount this channel, kind of center it inside there so the cam will ride in this area here. I'm not worried about bolt heads. I'm going to bolt it on the ends down here so to have nothing to snag onto. Alright, so that's next. As far as height, I did the other door first, and it's got to be, this is the armrest cutout, so it's kind of awkward because the channel needs to be like centered on this offset here. So it's gonna be something like that inside the door. I'm gonna be up inside this little hump enough to where the bolt is gonna lay down flush, kind of like that. Alright, so you can get an idea of where I drilled that. what I was talking about. There's a little lip right there. So I got up in there enough to where it's on the flat, and this one is beyond it, so I'm not worried about it. So this will be mounted on the inside of the door, facing this way. Alright, the other thing is, what I was talking about was the nylon lock nuts, just so nothing will come loose, vibration. So another thing, you want to slide that channel over that little cam first. See how that's in there? Before you bolt it in. Right. A nifty little tool, if you don't have one, is a right angle screwdriver for tight spots, such as this. So keep in mind, all these are kind of loose, just holding everything in place, which is fine for now until I get the window installed. But give you an idea. There come the arms right there. See that? Everything moving, especially that third arm down there. Kind of hard to see. There it is. So that's all the way down. And back up. As you can see, the door already has a window guide in the back side. However, because the wing window was removed, there used to be a guide in line with the wing that kind of went down inside the door. So all that's gone. So I gotta install a new guide on the front side of the door, so it's going to mount down inside there. Right about in that area there. And it's going to stand off down on the bottom. So it's going to be inside the door, so it's going to be, you know, standing off. So it comes with this bracket. So that'll bolt together. So in fact, when it's down inside the door, it's going to be mounted to the back side of the door, kind of like that. So that's next. Okay, so I got the channel mounted in there. I just used a pan head self-tapper. Kind of give you the proximity. You know, it's down below everything. One thing I did run into was, see if I can, the hinge bolt, focus, there you go. You can see the hinge bolt is going to be in the way of the window, so I'm going to have to take this, one of these hinge bolts out, shorten it a little bit so it's not in the way. And then that other bracket down there is going to be mounted to the inside of the door, back in there somewhere. That'll be next. Okay, now I'm going to put the cam channel down on the regulator prior to putting the windows in, so this will be in place. I'll take it down a little bit and then I'll put the window in and then bolt this to the window. And the window takes little 6mm flatheads. Oh, it's not focused. There it is. Taking the regulator all the way down, out of the way. This is the fun part. See, not too bad. I'm gonna bring it back up. To get one started, you can breathe a little easier. There's two in. This back one here. Go ahead and snug those up for now. Front one, I'll work on that, getting that in after I get the window all squared up and where it needs to be. So takes it all the way down. Almost a perfect fit. Front's got to come up a little bit. So this is why you cut slots right here. So the window, it needs to go back to the left. Close that gap in, close that gap in. So, try to show you here. What I'm going to do is lift up on the channel here. Actually up here. Watch these screws. I lift it up where it needs to be. Let it go. So I'll lift it up and I'll tighten those down. So that's exactly why you need those slots. Next step is forming the window channel weather stripping to the shape of the window. Just gotta be real patient and bend it little by little. So the next thing I ran into was the existing window channel is not as wide as what I need. You can see how wide this is compared to this. So rather than going and buying a new piece of channel and trying to get in there, so what I did was, rather than trying to fit this big channel in there, I bought some felt tape. I lined the inside of this, which is going to reduce the, well, rather eliminate the rattle, help guide the window up and down. The other side of it will have the brand new channel, which this will fit into. And that's going to be the next step, is fitting this channel into the door, getting it all attached, and then I'm going to put the window back in. So the window stripping's back in, window's back in. That window stripping can be a whole video in itself. But not perfect, but I'm happy with it. It's going to work for what I need. Alright, so wrapping this video up, one of the last things, I'm going to lubricate the guides with white lithium grease and also the regulators. So I got to get some grease sprayed down in there. I already got that section there sprayed, but that inside rail is going to be a little tricky, so here's a little tidbit. Your typical little tip on your sprayer that comes with your sprayers are straight. If you take a lighter and heat it up, you can bend it on a 90 degree like that. Just cut the end off once it's bent so it's not pinched off. So finally got around to bolting down the front of that rail, the new rail that goes in the front of the door that the window rides in. And if I could do it all over again, I'd probably bolt that before I did all the other work, because it is nearly impossible to get to. And I only put one screw in right there. Can't reach the other ones. So without having to take the door off, that's about the next step. If you're gonna put all 4 bolts in, take the door off, take the window out, all the hardware, because that's a booger to get to. So here it is with windows installed. Pretty happy with it.